To me, it just means us progressing in songwriting and having a good time while doing it, and party on.
I don't know, have a good time, rock and roll stuff, that kind of thing, I guess.
EP for me has been taking this band in a whole new direction, spending a lot more time putting songs together rather than just jamming something out and recording it, and taking our time on it, and I'm in love with it. I'm so proud of it, and you should go listen to it.
So this record to me is kind of the culmination of where we were going, like through Hey Rockers and Good Grief and all the singles, and then also an arrow pointing towards where we're going. That's poetic, but that's kind of where I feel like it's a good seg between Hey Rockers and Good Grief and into where we're going, the new music we're writing, the full length we're working on, and all of that. I think that this is a perfect middle ground to show you kind of a mix of where we were to where we're going. And so yeah, it means a lot in there. And then there's a lot of emotional value in the lyrics. They're fun songs, but they're a lot about where I have been, where I was, and where I am, kind of consistently. It's a nice mix of love and loss and wanting to be on tour and all that kind of stuff. So
Well, I joined the band just because I wanted to go to Pooza, and then turns out here I am 2 years later. I guess writing for it was, y'all had the songs, and I just wrote what I thought would be fun to listen to and fun to play. So I rocked it.
Basically, I just figure out my bass parts after most of the song is laid down, and then figure out harmonies and whatnot, and that's basically it.
it's kind of funny because the writing process for this, our writing process is generally I write the chords and lyrics and all that, and then I come to JP, he and I kind of hash it out, and Clayton jumps in. And for this one, that's how it was, because it was just the three of us when we wrote it originally, and even when we recorded it. And then Blake came on, and so we kind of were like, hey, here's the songs, and he threw his parts in, and that was kind of the writing process for that. But these songs have been, some of them are as old as Hey Rockers, some of them were meant for the new full length and stuff like that, and we kind of have moved stuff around. So it's been over a couple of years, on top of the fact that we recorded it 2 years ago. So it was kind of over 4 or 5 years that we've been writing these songs in reality. They just kind of were shelved and then came back for the right moment.
So the writing process on the EP started initially with Garrett and I just kind of jamming and piecing songs together. We brought Clayton in, and he did his little piece, and we went on to Austin to Bad Wolf Recordings around Valentine's Day of 2017, and tracked it all down with Philip Odom. Came back, sat on it for a while, and then Blake joined our band and added just a whole another part to it. So it's been really cool. Yeah.
We recorded this EP with Philip Odom in Austin, and it was cool. Philip and I have known each other since high school, and it was cool to finally be like, hey, let's do this. We knew that he was professional. We knew he would give us the quality we want for what we were doing, and we had a blast. It was cool to be out of town, out of the area. We stayed at a friend's apartment, and we ate Einstein bagels every day on the way to the studio while we did vocal warm-ups in the van, and it was cool. It was a nice time for the three of us to hang out, and we took 3 days, which was the longest we've ever taken to record something. And we took our time, and we had a blast working with Phil. It was probably the coolest recording experience we've had for many reasons. And then Blake came on, and so he went out, worked with Philip. He did a little bit of it here as well, and so it took us a while. Luckily, we took that time to wait and then Blake came on. We didn't release it. We threw his stuff in, and then went through, you know, the mixing, mastering pattern, getting it to where we want it, and then we finally had a product we liked. And for several reasons, we waited a little bit longer than we had anticipated, but I'm glad it's finally out. I'm glad we did it the way we did it.
The recording process was fun. We love Phil it. Love hanging out. It was a good experience. Instead of rushing out a bunch of songs, we took our time and made something that I think we're happy with.
Well, we showed up in Austin. We left Clayton's house at like 6 or 7 in the morning. Got there. Went to an HEB. And I picked up a 6-pack. And drank the entire 6-pack while I was recording. And then we were done. It was all kind of a blur.
Favorite songs are probably a tie between Geek and Wallflower. I don't know, I just enjoyed putting those songs together, and I don't know, that's it.
I'd have to say probably Wallflower. There's something like hauntingly beautiful, even though it's mainly in a major key. There's some minor parts of like the harmonies and stuff like that just going through, and just short, quick, sweet, straight to the point. It's fast, it's in your face, but still something slightly beautiful about it.
My favorite song is probably a tie between I Just Want to Read and City Streets, but for the purposes of this, I'm going to do Read. I think it's always been my favorite to play. It's been kind of, I think, one of the coolest songs, in my opinion, that I've written, and it's a fun song about just wanting to be left alone, to be nerdy, and I think there's cool vocal things. I think there's fun guitar parts. Blake's part is sick. All around, it just vibes the way that I intended it when I wrote it. And so even like Blake's part, really, I didn't say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, but he wrote a part that totally vibes where I was going with it. So Reed's my favorite song on the EP.
My favorite song on the new EP is City Streets, because it's a kind of a new direction that we're going in. We have a new members of the band, new sound, and you should definitely check it out.